What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stage. Ross Christifulli, what's up, everybody? Drop a 300 in the chat. 300 in the chat. Let's give the man some noise, baby. Let's go.
Woohoo! Hopefully everybody's doing good. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. We can hear you perfectly, loud and clear. What I'm going to do, Ross, is I'm going to let you take it away, brother. Ross, you're not going to be doing any screen sharing, right?
I am.
It looks like you are.
I'm not doing slides though. I got this, I got some whiteboard, and I got some screen sharing.
Cool. Just so you know, if you screen share, they won't see you. Just giving you a heads up.
That's
so whatever's
okay.
on your screen,
They
they'll
probably
see.
don't want to see me anyways. I'm not as
guys.
good looking as Rob and all these other guys.
Oh, no, you look sexy, man. You look sexy.
Wow.
Guys, does Rob look sexy? 400 in the chat if Rob looks sexy. If Ross looks sexy. Yeah. All right, what we're going to do, Ross, I'm going to let you take it away, brother. If you need anything from me, I'll be right here. You'll be in my ear. I got my little earpiece in. You got a good, it looks like, all the way until 1:45 p.m. EST. Take it away, brother. Make some noise for Ross. 300 in the chat. Let's go.
Guys, before we get started, really quickly, I want to get you guys moving, get a little blood if you didn't over the last couple minutes. So do me a favor. Stand up if you're in your chair. Otherwise, I want you to go ahead and put your arm like this. And, give yourself a little bit of stretching. Take some deep breaths, because what I'm going to be teaching you guys today, I've actually never taught live before. Hopefully, let me know if you guys are okay down in the chat. Trying out some new material on you guys. Now, I've actually taught this to my students for over a year now. But most people, when they've seen my content, if you've seen any of it, you know about me talking about appointment setters, hiring stay-at-home moms, all of that good stuff, to be able to really outsource your appointment setting. But there's so many different mechanisms to appointments. I'm going to move over to this camera here so we can go ahead and get on the whiteboard. You might see a slight delay, but I'll be back with you as soon as it kicks in. Go ahead and hit it, Christian. Okay. So oftentimes when I talk to students or prospects, agency owners, and they say, Ross, I've tried cold email, I've tried voicemail drops, I've tried appointment setters, I've tried ads, all these different things. I still don't have many clients. Why is what you're teaching any different? And it always kind of baffles me that people think the medium of what you're utilizing is what's going to get you the appointments. It's kind of like saying, Ross, I have a $4,000 guitar, but I still suck at it. At the end of the day, what you're actually saying, the messaging behind what you say, is going to make or break your entire presentation. Now, I brought a picture here with me, and it's got a coffee stain on it, but I thought that this would be a good illustration to explain what you need to do to get more appointments, to get your show-up rate to increase, and to really stand out as an agency owner. Now, this here was an ad that was ran for the VW Bug, and it was in magazines, and it says here, think small. If you guys have ever read the book, Seducing Strangers, he talks about this. That's what made me go print this out. And in it, the way that they did it is in their magazines, when you were flipping through a catalog, it was just all this busy advertising. And then you would get to a page like this, and it was just a blank page. There was nothing on it other than a teeny little car in the corner. And you can't really see it on this because I hit it, but at the very bottom it said think small, and then it had a very small little advertisement on it. The reason this worked so well is because people almost thought that it was a mistake. It was disruptive. Exactly. Someone just said it in the chat here, disruptive. And if you are not disruptive, then it's not going to work. If, for instance, if you go back 3 to 4 years when agency as a stay-at-home business was really just starting to blow up, offering things like social media audits, they worked. Offering things such as, saying, hey, can you handle an extra 5 to 10 appointments? They worked. Those things were disruptive. But now time passes, they're no longer disruptive. How many of you guys have ever taken one of those scripts that I just said, blasted it out, got very little response? Let me know in the chat if you guys have ever had that. It's because it's just no longer disruptive. It's the same thing that Johnny, Sherry, Steve, all these people who went through a course and decided to learn how to generate leads, what they're doing. So what I want to do is teach you how to be disruptive. So I'm going to first show you the framework, the science behind how to do it, and then I'm going to give you an example. I've become a big fan of frameworks rather than exact scripts, because the problem is if I give you a script right now, 400 people who are on this live are going to go ahead, they're all going to go do this email, blast it out. It's going to, like literally, you can make a YouTube video before you know it. Everybody's utilizing the same script and it'll burn out. But if I teach you the framework of what will always work right now to the end of time, when your script that you come up with ends up burning out or getting overused, you will then be able to change it up but use the same framework. So before we can get into that, you need to understand the science behind what causes someone to book an appointment. Now, I am a horrible artist. My brother's amazing at drawing. I did not get that gene, but I'm going to go ahead and draw a really bad, ugly version of a brain. So I want you to imagine this is a brain. You've got your innermost brain, which is called the amygdala. Some people call it the reptilian brain. You've also got your inner brain here, which is very limbic. So we'll call it the limbic system. And then you have your outer brain, which is the logical portion of a brain, which is called the neocortex. Now, the amygdala is, if you can't trip the amygdala, then you will not get an appointment. And here's why. The amygdala releases adrenaline. And that adrenaline is that panic of like, well, how are they doing that? Well, I need to know how this goes. For instance, have you ever seen an advertisement and maybe they're explaining a method, but they don't fully share with you exactly what it is because they leave enough curiosity to where it's like, well, if I want to know what they're talking about, I need to click into that ad. And then they satisfy it a little bit. It's kind of like a TV show where they keep leaving cliffhangers. They satisfy a little bit and they keep going. Well, what you have to do is trigger the amygdala. The amygdala is responsible. It's like a survival mechanism, and it's responsible for the feelings of pain, fear, anger, curiosity, hope, desire, all of these different things. The reason why they call it the reptilian brain is because reptiles, they don't think, they just react. So for instance, if you ever imagine like an alligator, if you've ever been in Florida and you see them and they look dead, they're just kind of baking in the sand. They're not really moving very much because they're content. But if they see something that either makes them scared or they want to eat or they have some sort of desire, they'll get up and they'll get them to move. But this same exact part of your brain, the amygdala, is also responsible for storing memories and the feelings that were associated with those memories. So I'm going to give you an example on this. Somebody goes to war and there's loud noises and people are dying. They have this big traumatic experience. 4th of July comes around, fireworks start going off, and post-traumatic stress disorder kicks in and they start freaking out. It's because they're not thinking, oh, this is just fireworks. Their amygdala is just reacting. And I'm going to explain why that's important. Because your initial job to get an appointment is to trip this amygdala. But when you trip it, it's either going to make them run to your solution or away from your solution. Because whenever some sort of pain has been triggered or fear of loss, they're going to run to you or away from you. And if you sound like another marketer who has come along in the past, they don't even know what you have to offer. They're running the other way because they've already made up an assumption about what it is that you do. Their brain is just reacting. They're not even thinking logically. Let me know down below if you guys agree with that, if you've ever had that experience where you're like, I don't know why people are being so mean. I'm just trying to help them with their business. It has nothing to do with you. They haven't thought about it. They haven't logically thought, wow, this person really could do this, this, and this would do it for my sales. All they're doing is just it's just a animalistic reaction that's happening. And that's why they're running the other way. So your job is to present a new opportunity. You've probably heard Russell Brunson or any marketers talk about creating a new opportunity, well, that's why the new opportunity works. Because if you don't, or if you do trip it and it sounds too much like something else that they've tried, they can come up with an assumption they're no longer peaked. What they're looking for when an adrenaline release that's good comes out, they are looking for that satisfaction, that dopamine rush that they know the answer. It's almost like you lose your wallet and you're freaking out, but once you find it, immediately you feel better. When you trip them in a way that's effective, they immediately want to know more. But if you don't, the trick is not to give it to them unless it's on the backside of an appointment. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this so that way I can show you how we do this. And it doesn't matter if you're using Facebook ads. It doesn't matter if you're using cold email. It doesn't matter if you're using appointment setters. I don't care. If you don't follow this, you're going to struggle. And in fact, we've had people who already had appointment setters. They sent them through our training on this. It's just a little 1-hour appointment setter training, and they came out on fire. So this is what happens. This is where you basically triggered their amygdala. This is where they had that release. They want to know more. And your goal right here is for the appointment. Right now, day one, I was told don't talk about closing because tomorrow you got people talking about closing. So today, my job is to teach you about appointments and how to get appointments and how to tee it up so that way a closer can come in and hit a nice shot. And let's say that this is scheduling the appointment. What you want to do is trip their interest, but then put the carrot of satisfaction. Hopefully you guys got my pun there. My carrot of satisfaction on the backside of an appointment. Now, once they go through this, your job is to give them a little bit of a satisfaction, but to move to the next one. So let me know down below if you, now that you guys know this framework that is working, if you want to know just one unique angle that literally any person can take that will immediately give you guys a boost, get you responses extremely fast. Let me know down in the chat, say, just say hashtag framework. If you guys want to know one framework that always works, and this is the new stuff that I've really never taught on a live. This is the new stuff that is, I teach it in my program, but I want to bring it to you guys. If I were to call you up, let's just, for this presentation, we're all selling roofers. You guys, we're all selling roofers in this presentation, just because then we can get into the right mindset on it. And I don't necessarily go after roofers myself, so it's beautiful because I can teach you guys this and not create 400 competitors for myself. So we're all going after roofers right now. If I were to call you and say, hey, could you handle an extra 10 to 15 new roof quote requests per day? Let me know. You would think, this guy's an idiot. Of course we could. I know what he's doing. I've done this before, marketers, blah, blah. And that script used to work amazing. I used to teach that script. But what if I called you up and say, hey, my name's Ross. I'm actually, I own a roofing company. And they're like, well, I own a roofing company. Why is this guy calling me? And I say, I'm looking for a roofer in your area to partner with, who I could send our online leads to. And they would basically do all the work, subcontract out the work to them. Is this something you'd be interested in? Well, yeah. And then I could say, you know, we'd be getting about 5 to 15 in your area. Now, this question just asked, what if you don't own a roofing company? That is the next angle. So we used to use this script that was a fear of loss where we made it. It almost sounded like we already had these appointments. And after a while of doing it, even though you could find a loophole, we started thinking it's kind of not true. It kind of feels like a lie. And if you're starting off a conversation with a lie, it feels weird. So I thought, well, what if we made it true? And it's like, well, so you're going to go start all the roofing stuff? No, I'm not. A business is a list. I want you to think Zillow. I want you to think Trulia. I want you to think of these kinds of sites. They make their money off of loan officers and realtors, etc. They don't make their money off of the homeowner. So I thought, if I were to create a page, a landing page, and I created a brand, and I made it legit, and I actually got some traffic off of it. Well, if John in Milwaukee decided, hey, I want to do this, I could go run these ads to that page and send it to him. So let me show you how to do this quickly without having to go, you don't need to go create LLCs and all this stuff. I'm going to show you a very simple way to be able to do this. Step one, go to DashClicks, look at the Insta sites that they have. So let's say they have an Insta sites for roofers. Chad, you can let me know if you have that in your DashClicks thing for roofers. You buy that site. You come up with your own name, your own brand. It could be Roofers USA, whatever it is, and it is your page. And then what you do is, so step one here was go grab that Insta site. Step two is now you need to go create a Facebook page that matches that Insta site. Now, this is where it's kind of unique, and what we do is very unique. And you have to figure out how you want to do this for you. But when we're utilizing this method, we flat rate our customers. So if you're a roofer, the way that I'm going to position that in a sales call too, just so you know, is I'm going to position it as, you know, we would basically offset those marketing costs to you. But in the roofing, I'd say, let's say that we charge them $3,500, then I can take, say, $500 to $1,000 of that, and I'll use that as ad spend. The rest of it is our management fee. I will just charge him that as a one lump sum. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my ad account, and I'm going to have Chad's team do this, and it's actually probably going to speed up your onboarding process because they're already going to have access to your page and your ad account. So now when you land a client, you're just saying send traffic, you know, duplicate this and send traffic to it. So now what I'm going to do is just run ads from my own company that I just built, or my own brand. And as those are coming through, just like on Trulia or Zillow, when you fill out a home and it says, this is the realtor who's going to follow up with you, it's going to say, this is the guy who's going to follow up with you from this company. So you're kind of creating a roofing directory company, if that makes sense. And it's a beautiful, immediate, unique selling proposition, because all of this is about creating a unique angle. So now when they say, well, yeah, and you know, I'd be interested in hopping on a call. Now, when you get on a Zoom call, you can show them your website, you can show them, you know, whatever, and then you can show them the leads. But the idea is that they're going to immediately have this fear of loss because you're saying that you can get 15 to 20 requests to them weekly. They're jealous almost of your online digital real estate. So now, let's see, someone says we call them lead aggregators here. So yeah, one warning is make sure that you guys let them know these are exclusive leads. You don't want them to get in the idea that you are like Home Advisor, where you might be selling 3 people the same exact lead, because that can be a problem. So essentially what you're doing here is creating this brand. Now here's what's cool. As people start liking these ads over time on your Facebook page, you're going to invite them to actually like your page. You're also building up tons of behavioral data that you can then turn into lookalike audiences. You can run these videos out there and so forth, because as you know, Facebook is really tightening the restrictions on what data you can upload into the system and create a lookalike audience of. But if you own the data, if you've been aggregating it on their page, now some might say, isn't that against Facebook's rules to do that? No, because you own the page, you own the website. This is your online business. You're just taking those leads and zapping them to someone else. So now what you've done is literally you could do this in an hour. You don't, is there something wrong with the camera? Oh, you don't need to go make a huge thing. All you need to do is go on Fiverr, pay someone $10 to make you a logo, go to DashClicks, buy an Insta site, and now you can start. And what's going to happen, because this does happen, this has happened to us, people start coming to you and they start saying, hey, do you guys have this? Do you have that? And let's say, or in this area, Charlotte, and let's say you don't, or let's say you want to run it out of their ad account. You can say, listen, we are actually maxed out with what we're personally doing right now, but what we are doing and what we can do is just duplicate the same system for you if you're interested in that. Well, yeah, show me how to do that. Then you can get on a call, and then that's how you could transition it into their own ad account, etc. You're really going to start building up some social proof on this. So let's see what time it is. It's 12:30. So I only got a few more minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a screen share, And I'm going to actually write a script up right in front of you. I'm going to show you how I could go ahead and start this outreach right away. Would you guys like to see that? Please write the steps on the board. Yeah. You like how I did this whole presentation? I have this whole whiteboard and all I've done is write. Step 1, Insta sites. Go buy an Insta site. Step 2 is going to be create a Facebook page that is congruent. One thing that you want to do, by the way, is make sure that on the Learn More button on your Facebook page, it sends them to this Insta site. And I highly recommend, there's a software called Christifulli. Install that on your Insta site. It's going to put that little messenger bubble because you will accumulate a ton of leads. And one other thing I want to mention is create a page in your Insta site at the very bottom that says become a partner and receive leads, kind of like you would on Zillow or Trulia. So that way other roofers who come to who land on your page, because you will get roofers on your page, they go into that. If you decide to run Facebook ads, you can run Facebook ads to the roofers from this page and be like, hey, if you're a roofer, I got a question for you. I have a roofing company as well, and we're doing blah, blah, blah. And you can go through that spiel with them. Immediate unique angle, though. It's because immediately they're like, okay, this isn't just another marketer. This is a company that has really good marketing, but they're building a brand in my niche. You're going deep into your niche and it works. Okay, so now we're going to move over and I'm going to actually show you how to do this. Let's see. Should we also create an email account? Yes, I always do that. You want to make it legit, but as marketers, we know how to do it very quickly. And it's just a front-facing company. I call them consumer-facing sites. So hopefully you guys like this. It looks like in the chats they are. Okay, I got 10 minutes left here. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to write a script very quickly. I think you got to switch the camera, Christian. Okay, I did it. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to very quickly do this because I only got a few minutes here. So what if the client asks you about your company, how long you're in business, blah, 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 blah. Well, you can say we're newer, but we have marketing that's off, that's next level. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm going to probably disappear here with my screen share. Let me. Give me 1 second. Sorry for the delay, my friends. Okay. Now, if you guys have other softwares, because I'm not supposed to be and I'm not going to pitching my software specifically. If you guys have another software, please feel free to do the same exact thing. This is just what I'm currently using in my business. And so that's what I want to show you guys how to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here and type in roofing, and let's go ahead and do lead carrot. Well, I own lead carrot. That's why I use lead carrot. Lead carrot's more than just a lead carrot is more than just a data scraper. It's a full out CRM for my automations. Let's just do Houston. Okay. So we're gonna give it a second. I'm on Zoom, so this might take a minute. And it's Houston, so there's probably a lot of data. Okay, yeah. 1,237 roofers. That's a lot of roofers. I don't think I want to push all of those into a pipeline because that's a lot of roofers. Let's go for Milwaukee. Okay. So here we got crap ton of roofers. We're going to go ahead and set up an outreach. By the way, I wanted to make sure I give everybody something here today so that way everyone felt like they were going away with something. There's a free course on how to set up an evergreen cold email machine, regardless of what platform you're utilizing. And you can go to leadcarrot.io in the chat box. Just say, hey, Ross said he's got a free course for me. And it's going to teach you guys. It's about 4 or 5 videos, maybe 1 or 2 hours total. But it teaches you guys how to, it'll re-go over the frameworks, which we talked about today in a little bit more depth. Okay, so push to pipeline is taking progress. So leads are gonna start populating here in a minute. In the meantime, let's go ahead, write a cold email. So if you go, if what I'm going to do is go into my second deal stage here, go to contact attempt. I'm going to write a cold email. I'll just put here, let's just do this. Quick question. Then I'm going to say, my name is Ross. I own a roofing company, and I'm looking for a roofer in Milwaukee to partner with. Must be able to
Your replays will be available.
Am I on? What's up? Oh my God, we lost Ross. We might have lost Ross. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see me at least? Drop a 66 in the chat if you can see me. Well, that's the life of technology, people. Looks like Zoom's been pretty rough to us today, I might say, but the core value of everything has been pretty awesome, for the most part. So it looks like we got Ross back in. You want to switch back over to Ross, Carlos? Looks like he got back up and he's running for the most part. Switching back over to you, Ross. Go for it, brother.
Okay, my audio is back on. Okay, sorry about that. I guess my internet went out. So anyways, I'm keeping it short and sweet. I'm almost making it sound like a classified in a sense here. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to save this and I'm going to set this up to go out immediately. Now what I'm going to do is I've got all of these roofers over here. So my next step is what I got to do is I want to send, say, 30 emails a day. So I'm going to set up an automation that drips 30 emails a day from this pipe to this stage to this stage. When it hits this stage, it will fire off this automation here. So let's go ahead and set up that pipeline automation now. I'm going to delete it and start it over so that way you guys can see. Actually, I'll just start a new one here. So I'm going to put here 30 per day, and I'm going to have it go from lead in to contact attempt. I'm going to put a 5-minute delay in between each drip. So I'm going to go ahead and change this, set this to immediate. And now what's going to happen is it can take about 5 minutes, but then every 5 minutes, a deal's going to drip over. And then I'm going to just start getting emails. I like to set things up in a way that it's automated. One thing that I'd like to say here is that even if you don't have a team right now, it doesn't mean you can't set up automations. Like if you get it to the point where today, if you wake up and your business doesn't have, you don't have to actually go prospect to get leads and appointments, you can get on sales calls. That's what you want, because you want your business, you want to set it up in a way that it holds you accountable, because a lot of times none of us can be on our A game all the time. If I'm supposed to go send emails every day, cold call, do all these things every day, I will burn out extremely quick. But if I fill that thing up with, say, 2,000 to 3,000 leads and I have those dripping all the time, and then I set up a LinkedIn automation where it's reaching out to these roofers every day and sending them messages, and these things are automated. You kind of set them and you forget them. That's how you can start really, really getting a lot of appointments. And when you're using this framework, it's going to be very easy to get a response. Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the time on here. Once again, if you go to leadcare.io and in the chat box, just say, hey, I want the free course. They will hop on there and they will give you free information. Any questions you have before I hop off on here, Chad?
Hey, Ross, really quick, we got about 3 minutes left here. First and foremost, if anybody, I know we had the quick cutoff. Do you think that if they go to leadcare.io that you'd be able to give them that message that you were typing up? I know a lot of people were asking about that.
Yeah, all they have to do is just type it, and Christian said that the chat was going on fire. So it's going pretty good. They can just let him know to get the free course, and he'll send them that.
Okay, so yeah, so for those of you guys wondering where to go, how to do this, just go to leadcarrot.io. Open up on the bottom right-hand side, you'll see a little chat bot. Just open that up, and Ross's customer support team will go ahead and email you the freebie that he was talking about, and then they'll also hook you up with that script that he was writing, just to make sure that you guys don't get lost in any way, shape, or form. Is that okay, Ross, with you?
Yeah, do it.
Awesome, brother. And Ross, in case for whatever reason, which I'm sure because it's happening to every single speaker here, if somebody wants to reach out to you, if they want to follow you, I know you got a Facebook group. I know Christian is probably there behind the scenes. Christian, go ahead and drop in the link to the Facebook group. So that way, for those of you guys who are interested in learning more from Rob, following Rob, being in Ross's community.
We're actually putting a lot more effort and content in our YouTube channel, so I'll probably just have them drop that instead.
Go ahead and drop the YouTube link. For those of you guys who want to hear more of Ross, who want to watch more of his videos, who want to engage more with him, because what you were talking about at the beginning was super psychological. You went next level on us for a second, which is amazing, right? So, what's going to happen also is you guys are going to see my end presentation here. A lot of things happen within sales psychology. So some of the stuff that you actually touched on is real life stuff, right? So for one, thank you so much, Ross, for coming on here, dropping the value. Guys, if you guys thought Ross's presentation was amazing, go ahead and drop a 55 in the chat. 55 in the chat for Ross.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, Ross. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks.